Hey there, folks. How's it going? It's your old pal Brian from Tokyo Record Style. I am just winding down my day, the very, very end of my day, very, very winding down. But it's Friday. It's officially Friday. So TGIF. And yeah, I was thinking I would come online here to, um, to kind of, to kind of wind the day down. Hey, Stunt Rock Confusion in the house. I was just listening to our stream from a couple of days ago, or what was it, a couple of weeks ago, I guess now. We were talking about freedom and yeah, we were talking about freedom. Yeah, no, I was thinking about well, there's just like so much going on. I kind of like didn't even know where to start, but I was thinking I got home, I had it's Friday. We had a national holiday on Monday. It was Senkyo no Hi. It was the voters' day, the day that we all voted, or not we. I don't have the privilege to vote in Japan. I'm not only Japanese nationals get to vote, and so I do not vote. And in as much, I don't really pay that much attention to the politics of Japan. I do a little bit, but you can't help it. But I was in this circle of friends one time, and it was this like really sort of woo woo kind of circle of people. It was like a big chill kind of scene, and it was everybody like we a bunch of friends, like 40 friends, all rented this cabin up in the woods, and we just had like a weekend kind of retreat that we just like made for ourselves. And I barely remember what we did. It was all musicians, so we just probably played music the whole time. But I remember at one point we came to like this time in the weekend where we were all sort of like voicing our grievances about the world, and it was like going, and we were like taking turns going around the circle. And when it was like getting to me, and I was kind of the youngest one of this group, and I was like, what am I gonna say? Because everybody had these kind of like, I don't know, at the time seemingly profound things that they were saying about the direction of the world, that the direction they wanted the world to go. It was like 2003-ish, 4-ish. So it was like the Iraq war had just started, and the second Iraq war. And anyway, it was like a weird time. I think I might have even been living in Japan, and I like went back, and like I'd already been living here for a year or two. And anyway, it got to me, and I was just no, it got to like my friend Libby, like who was like 2 or 3 people ahead of me, and she was like, everybody's voicing their grievances here, and everybody's got this idea for what they want, and they're all feeling disconnected and like anxiety ridden, and the news is this way, and we're all feeling like divided, and I'm not. I'm gonna let you guys be on the front line to fight those fights, and I'm gonna be back here with the drums and I'm gonna be cheering for you on the front lines or something to that effect. And I was like, oh, I'm on Libby's team. So I think I can be more productive at like making my little corner of the world a little bit a little bit slightly less sucky by focusing on other things and not really on politics. I vote, but I kind of keep my opinions to myself, and I don't really see, well, I shouldn't I don't really see politics changing our lives that much. But on the other hand, have the skin tone that kind of like gives me that privilege, or have the passport that kind of, I don't know, and I'm not living in some place where these decisions have more weight. And anyway, yeah, it's a conundrum. But at any rate, I tend to like not really, and it's everywhere. It's just like totally surrounding me. Why did I bring this up? Oh, because it was like voting day, and the conservatives got into the conservatives got into the Japanese parliament. I don't even know what the name of their party is. It's not the Komeito party, but it's the other guys, and they're the sort of like anti-immigration people. The newspaper called me and said, like, do you want to make a statement about it? And I said no. And they said, okay, because we're looking for voices from people who've been here for a long time, and aren't you concerned that you're going to like you get on an airplane and leave, and they're not going to let you back into the country? And I was like, no, I'm not at all concerned about that. Maybe I should be, but I'm just not at all concerned about that. But that happened on Monday, and but also something else happened on Monday, which was kind of fun. My son had a like live one of his classmates. My son's in like junior high school, and it's like what they do, like basically something like 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. It's something like junior high and senior high or whatever, and they've got like 3 and 3, and he's in basically the first year. And somebody in his school, I don't know if it's I doubt it's his grade, but it's like, and it may not be like a senior student, but they put together a enormous party, like an enormous party. And when I say party, I mean like a dance party, a club party, DJs, like a full-on like club event. And he brought like artists from around the world. He brought these like Senegalese drum troupe and dancers. He brought this Chilean MC. He brought these Polish, like this family of DJs, and this drummer. It was like and it was like at a club. It was like at a proper like and my wife was like, do you want to go to this? And I'm like, what is it? And she's like, it's like, it's like a kid's party, but it's like one of the students has put together this crazy party. And my wife and I used to go clubbing all the time. And she was like, let's go. And I was like, okay, all right, yeah, sure, I'll go. And then I didn't really know what to expect. And so we go to this like kind of new area of Tokyo called, what's it called? Takanawa Gateway, I think it is this really impressive brand new station that's on the big Yamanote line. It's kind of interesting. In all the years that I've been here, they've never built a new station on the Yamanote line, so it seems kind of big. And it's a gorgeous station. It's like 10 stories tall, and I mean, it's like the roof is this huge lattice of like these crazy. It's like an airport kind of. It's like really really impressive, and so you get out of this thing and then you walk, and then these enormous towers and this like 7 levels of retail space, and it's just like an art installation everywhere you go. It's really kind of like it blows you away right when you. And then there's this right when you walk down the sort of causeway or whatever. There's like this club called 0 Point, and it's like they have a full. It's like a club when there's like red ropes, and you got to like. There wasn't anybody out there telling us that we weren't dressed properly, but it was kind of that kind of thing. It was like, you can get in, but you can't get in. But it wasn't exactly like that, but it felt like that. And you go in and there these like, it's this lounge with all these like couches everywhere. And there's like, you hear this like, crazy party going on upstairs. My wife says like, we're upstairs. And I go upstairs and there's this like huge long room, this like really really like a football field's length of room, but kind of narrow, and it had like a TV all the way across the ceiling, and there was like a DJ and dancers and an MC. I think I have like a little video on my phone, just a short one, and I don't know if this will do it justice, but like it's pretty wild. Hold on a second, I'll show you. I don't know if this will come through. A crazy, crazy party, right? And this like teenager put this crazy party on with like 500 people showed up. And he was like, he's emceeing the whole thing. He's like, hey, ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome to the stage this artist all the way from Chile? We've got MC blah blah blah. And it was, and the drone, there was this drone flying around the whole time with lights all over. It was really wild. Anyway, why am I going off on this? Because it was a holiday. That was like national voting day. So it was almost like, shouldn't all these people be voting? They take a national holiday in Japan for voting. And I hope my wife voted. I don't know if she went to the polls or whatever, but I assume she did. I mean, there's people kind of walking around the neighborhood because they have these like little, like, voting booths all over the neighborhoods. Anyway, so that made it a 4-day work week. So we started on Tuesday, right? But it's like, it's only Thursday. I feel like I've put in so many hours, and I haven't. And I just feel like, I don't know how long I can keep going on like 5 days a week, 40 hours, 50 hours. I don't think I can. I don't know how much longer I can do it. I need a different recipe. Like, yeah, 9 to 5 or whatever. I do 10 to 7, and sometimes 10 to like 10, or 10 to fucking midnight sometimes, but just like, and sometimes like noon to 5 or whatever. Like, it's a little flexible, but like, it was a 4-day. It's not, it's like, I feel like I don't, yeah. Anyway, love my job. So I'm not complaining, but I'm just like, oh, it's Friday. I'm living for the weekend. I'm like Stevie Wonder. Living just enough for the city. That's what it is. But then, so I came home today and I spent like 2 hours streaming records on Twitch, which was real nice. And I spun a bunch of records that I'm going to be featuring in part 2 of my photography video series. I made a series of 2. I'm going to make this 2-part video. And I just was thinking about this. Siri, you talking to me? I made this like hour-long video, which I know nobody was gonna like. Everyone's gonna like, who's expected? Like, how could I possibly expect anybody to watch an hour-long video? And but I did. I wanted to do it just because, like, I wanted to like create it. Like, I wanted to like make a. I was like compelled to do it, and this is not the first time that I've been compelled to make one of these things. There's probably been, I don't know, 6 videos that I've made that have been over an hour. I'm just like going off on things, the toilet thing, or I don't know what I've done. I've done a handful of things where I'm just like editing a 3-hour video down to 1 hour. And I'm like just unapologetic about it because I want to do it. But I feel like YouTube is like sort of gaslighting me, because every time I make one of these things, it's just like I get the brakes put on me, not because like, not for that video, but like just everything just kind of comes to a halt. And the comments and the likes and the new subs and everything just comes to a screeching halt for like 2 weeks, and then I make some 5-minute video, and somehow they all start up again. So I don't really get it. But no, but the thing, so I came home and I streamed records today, and it was real nice. So I just have this stack of records that I'm going to be talking about in the next video, and I just like spun sides tonight, and I had some people hanging out with me, and it was real nice. It was just nice to have the headphones on and I listened to like 2.5 hours of music. It was great. Like, really great. And like looked at album covers and like almost intentional listening. I would say like the only real distraction was like I didn't have the phone in front of me. I didn't have like, I had a browser in front of me because I was streaming on Twitch, but I didn't really, it felt like pretty intentional, like like stopped and intentional listening. So that was really nice. Last night I had intended to, oh, interesting. I'm getting 2 stream. Okay. Hey guys. I'm getting 2. Oh, here we go. Okay. I got some people here. I'll stop and say something. Say, hey, Stunty. Can I show these? Yes, I can, can't I? Oh, there they go. Ah, sorry. Hey, Brian, beat that drum from I Am One of Us. Yes. I'm beating the drum. What drum did I see? I saw a really good drummer recently. Oh, those Senegalese drummers. They were amazing. And one of the drummers, he had these like crazy eyes. He was like, and he had this really, really dark toned skin and like these eyes in this darkness. It was like it was almost like it was all like the Maori, like those New Zealand Maoris where you're like terrified of them. It was that sort of deal. Um, have you ever been to Fukuoka? Says Green Yun. Yeah, I have. I think we yeah, no, I haven't. I think we talked about it last time. I think I pulled up Fukuoka on the map. I've been to Kyushu, but I haven't been to Fukuoka. There's some nice record stores down there. I'm sure there are. You guys are saying what's up to each other. Maybe you should do a video about. Oh, come on, that's not that funny. Although that's not actually a terrible idea. I mean, you could do something like that. You know, go photograph dogs or something. Go talk to people about dogs. It's actually not a bad idea. But the reason I mentioned the toilet thing is because like that's not really a toilet project. It's an architecture project. I mean, it is a toilet project, but it was about design and architecture. Anyway, so I was gonna stream. I committed myself to streaming on Wednesdays. I was like, I saw that. I thought like Wednesday was suddenly up for grabs, and so I I was like, oh look, I think I'm gonna stream on my Wednesday nights, which would be maybe your Wednesday mornings or Wednesday afternoons, depending on where you were. And so I was like, okay, that can be a time I can commit to, and I kind of like promised myself and just like tried to um I don't know, tried to go for it, and it kind of fell apart. A bunch of things happened, and it was just like, dang it, I couldn't make it work. And yeah, so for whatever reason, it's like it's not the calendar's not open at that time. And so I'm gonna find something else. So it's back to the drawing board a little bit, and I don't know how to make it work. And then what was connected to that idea was that I wanted to find a place where I could stream from, and like somewhere that's not this very spot right now, because this happens to be like in my living room and that I share with the rest of the family, and our family TV and our sofas over here. So it's not easy for me to just like hop on here, and I can't really anyway, I can't do it here. So I was thinking that it would be fun to do it somewhere like interesting at some place that was closed and some place that might be into it, and somehow like get some cross pollination promotion going. And I reached out to about four, I'll call it 4.5 record stores or 4.5 spaces. And I got a semi yes on one of them, and I got kind of a no on one of them, and I got kind of like a no reply on two of them. And I got a not a good idea from one of them. Yeah, in fact, yeah, anyway. And so I'm still kind of flirting with that idea. That's going to be a hard one for Japanese people to get on board with. I think it's just like it's one of those like I remember I went hitchhiking in Thailand. I hitched up the Burmese border, which was really fun, and I like 2, 3, 4 days of hitchhiking. And I remember like the first ride that I got, I had the thumb out, and I was and people would drive by me and they'd be like, "Yay, yay!" And I'm like, "No, no, I'm in your ride." They like couldn't even like understand the concept. And then like one guy pulled over and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hey, can I get a ride with you guys? You guys going north?" And they're like, "With us? You want to ride?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, no." I'm like, "Okay." They didn't like even really understand the concept. But finally somebody did pick me up. I think it was just like, or maybe I didn't, maybe I like wasn't communicating well enough, but eventually somebody did pick me up. And but that's kind of the way I feel that this like pitching the idea of like, oh, what would you think if like you gave me the key to your spot and I just came and went in there and didn't do anything and just left. It's like people are like, well, what you want to do? Why don't you just get your own place? I'm like, yeah, but your place is empty. And they're like, yeah, but I'm paying for my place. I'm like, yeah, I know. it was worth a try. I'm at that. I kind of that's where I am. Just need one night a week. I just need a couple hours a week. But at any rate, so that kind of all fell through. I got really not discouraged, but I was just like, dang it. Like I'm sure that this is going to be a good idea because um I'm sure that like finding a regular, dependable, serialized place each week is going to make the most sense rather than just being like, okay, I've got an hour of time. Let's do it. But I know that we're on summer break right now, and I do kind of have these regular, semi-regular pockets of time where I can kind of come up and like do what I'm doing right now, which is just rambling and riffing and don't even really know exactly where I'm going. But I realized now that we're on summer break and that I lost my license for 30 days and that I had these kind of like, you know, stream of consciousness driving home sessions that I would just sort of like broadcast because I'm not like in the habit of doing them every 3 days or whatever. I feel like you lose your like this I'm like doing this just to keep nimble, keep the noodle nimble. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Because I heard somebody say in a video, I'm going to try to start up my channel again. It was so like some YouTuber who'd said like, Mike, I'm recommitting to my channel this year. And I didn't make any videos and I only make them once a month or whatever it was. They were just like kind of like making excuses to themselves for themselves about making less videos than they used to and they want to make them more again. And they said something in passing which was like, it's really hard once you stop making them. Once you go a few weeks without making them, or once you go a few months without making them, it's kind of hard to get back on the horse. And I think that's probably true. I've been pretty regular with putting something out there on a fairly regular, on a like one video every 2 weeks on average. I think it's like 1.5 weeks on average, and then like I don't know, 2 or 3 live streams a week on average. Just like sometimes playing the piano, sometimes just little bits, and then like I really want to host like and panels once every couple 2 or 3 weeks. So but after yeah, I want to get that going, but I'm still working on it. But the weekend is ahead of us, and I have a couple of things that I'm working on. I'm working on the photography album covers part 2. I'm working on I found a really lovely bookstore that agreed to let me come in and show you, and it should be really interesting. And it's kind of music and art and it's really cool. This really, really cool curated bookstore. I'm really excited to share it. You'll be like, wow, that's cool. It's nothing mind-boggling, but it's really nice, extremely nice. And it's just the kind of thing that you'd be like, oh man, that's the cool. And I just stumbled upon it in my neighborhood. I just like walking down the neighborhood. I like walk into this place. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. Oh, what's going on here? I'm like, oh, that's cool. And there's nice speakers and nice books about music and Dennis Hopper photography book and some other thing. I'm just like, this is cool. This would be a fun. And so then I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I hit them up and they said, yeah, when do you want to come and do it? So I'm going to work on that this weekend. And then the other thing is that the summer carnival record fair is actually happening this weekend. The big record fair, the big summer Tokyo big record fair. It's like once a year, and it's basically happening. It's like, I'm gonna guess it's like, I don't think it's like record collectors from all across Japan, although maybe it is. I think it's kind of collectors that are in the sort of middle of Japan. I think they're kind of like mostly like Nagoya and Osaka centric, and I think they come to Tokyo like once a year, and they have a huge. I don't know how it compares to like your record fairs. I think you guys have lots of record fairs. I always see you guys having record fairs wherever like. Seems like there's record fairs frequently in Japan. We only get like, I feel it's not. I was gonna say like once a year, but it's not true. We get We get 3, or there's one in Yokohama every year. There's a kind of a new one. It's not so new, but it's like 6 years old now. That's happening in Shimokitazawa. It's quite small, but it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's pretty fun. It's not like a tables and tables and tables of vendors, but it's like a little picnic. It's like a flea market kind of vibe. It's real nice, and that's going to keep growing. In fact, I'm going to do something there next year. I hope. I got an idea to pitch, and I think I'll be able to pull it off. But the big one that does have lots and lots and lots of tables opened Wednesday. And I imagine like it's already got picked over, not picked over, but I imagine a lot of people, like the crazy hardcore collector people, already went there on Wednesday. And yeah, then Thursday, and then Friday, I'm probably not going to go on Friday. And in fact, I don't really have any extra funds to go, and I don't really have there's nothing I'm really hunting for. There's one thing I'm hunting for, but they're definitely not going to have it there. I mean, there's lots of things I want, but like I just like I'm in the right now. My brain is thinking, let's put the brakes on records for a little bit and let's enjoy the ones that we have. I have like probably close to like 20 records, if not, that I probably haven't even listened to yet, that I bought. Like I've listened to either like half of a side or not even the whole thing, and I need like a proper. Yeah, so before I go buy new records, I want to go to like film it and to show you guys, but they kind of put up a little bit of a stink the last 2 years that I went there. I was like, hey, I was here last year. Can I do a thing? And they're like, oh, you got to go ask. Or I recognized somebody whose shop I went to, and I was like, hey, and they're like, hey, you came. And I'm like, yeah, wondering if I can do a video. And they're like, you got to go ask the organizer dude over there. And he's like, yeah, we had some complaints about it last year and the year before, and people don't want to be on film. And and then there's all these like clandestine people who are doing it anyway, and then there's like people who are just ignoring them, and like I'm just not that. I'm not that like I love showing you record culture in Tokyo, and that's like that's the thing that actually gets the most amount of views. But I don't know, it's like I like the record. I like I don't know. There's something about it, like every record shop is like every record, all the bins are the same to me essentially. Um, every bin in every record shop and no matter where you go in the world, it's all the same thing. It's all the same act and the same. It's just like slightly different genres. But I like to see the whole thing, like the stained glass windows of a cathedral sort of thing. It's like, oh, they don't have that one at that one. That's different. So I'm kind of more interested in the spaces than I am in like the records and like the flow of the behavior of the the life, the breath of the heartbeat of the place. Anyway, I'm gonna try to go to that. Although if I don't make it out there, it's far away, and if I go out there, I have to take the train. I've become such a snob about the train. I have not ridden the train this much in like a lot of years. I'm like riding the train every day, and I'm just like, it's kind of nice to be on the train again, but it kind of sucks too. It's just like it's because it's a little bit exhausting, but it's good for you. It's good to be going up and down stairs, and like don't take the escalator or the elevator, take the stairs, and you're like, oh, my knees fucking need this really bad, and yeah, let me say hello to you guys. Yeah, so I'm taking the train every day, and this record fair place, it's gonna take me an hour. It take me 30 minutes to get there on a motorcycle. It take me like an hour plus to get there by train. I don't know. I gotta get new glasses so bad. That's the first thing I need to buy. These things are so scratched up. Hold on. See, I saw somebody a comment about the camera. I'll give you. Hold on a second. What's going on here? There we go. Let me put this on. The manual. It's real cool, the autofocus, but like this autofocus kind of sucks. Okay. Let me say hello to you guys. Anybody want to come up and hang out? Stunty's talking about the dog shit park. It's stupid, but it could work. It actually could. It's daft. Okay, there's a word we don't use in American English. I always find it hysterical when my British friends here, you know, they like they have kids and their kids go to the British school or they go to international school, but they go through A levels and they go through their courses and they try to do the thing, they're properly British and they go home, but they like they all have these like thick American accents. It's just comical. And my British friends like, oh, my kids, they speak this awful American English. Daft is one that we'd never say in America. In fact, I bet you even like daft is one that we don't even know. In fact, daft is like somebody help me out. Daft is like kind of uncool, right? Daft is like it's like it's not that good, right? It's okay. It's daft trying to pick a spot where no one else is broadcasting. This only works during nuclear holocausts. Okay, do your own thing regardless of who else is going. Like, I see what you're saying. It's daft trying to pick a spot on the calendar where no one else is broadcasting. I thought you were saying like, yeah, an actual spot. This only works in nuclear holocaust. No comment. I can't really comment on it. Yeah, no comments. Yeah. Okay, but thank you for that thought. Something to consider. Looking forward to the 2 hour album cover videos. Yeah, 2 hour long album cover videos. Haven't had a chance to watch the first one. Traveling through Japan at the moment. Hey, Kevin, you're in Japan at the moment. Okay, making it hard to free up a couple of hours, dude. Well, shit. Forgive me if you're here and I have space let's connect. Connect, please. I think I remember we've talked, but when you get to Tokyo, let me know. Hey Brian, looks like you got a new video camera. Nice. I will tell you, Rich, thanks for that comment. Looks pretty good, right? It doesn't look too bad. I do have to deal with the autofocus, and it's like what happened was I'm kind of sharing I've got a whole bunch of lenses, but this one kind of main one that I was using all the time, like my friend was like, I need that lens back. And I was like, oh no, that means that my lens is the one that I have is like broken. And so I had to like come up with another plan to get, okay, I was like, but I'll just use another one. But the problem is that the one that I was using before, why is this not working? The one that I was using before was a zoom lens. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Don't do that. Hold on. Let's try one more time. Anyway, what I had before was a 2470. You guys know the 2470? I had like a 24. It's not, yeah, I'm not, I want to get it on. I really want this to work. I can feel it right there. Come on. God dang it. It is kind of nice. Oh, you little stinker. There you go. Okay. So the zoom on it does kind of work, but it's not, what I have on there right now is an old 35 millimeter. It's like an old 35 f2. But this is the state of my 2470. I can't have nice things. Look at that. Hold on. Can you see that? Come on, baby. You see that? It looks like somebody took a bite out of it. It actually it broke off in my camera bag. It was in my bag without a lens cap. Like a month after I paid like $800 for them to fix it. This lens has been fixed like 4 times. And I can't afford to fix it again. It's just too expensive to fix. So it just stopped working and it like malfunctions, but it's like super useful because it's 2470, right? And it's my main working lens. But I have a handful of like prime lenses. Like this is not going into focus. Like this 50, what is this? 50 f1.2 or 1 f1.2 maybe, yeah. And but it's too narrow of a, I can't, the zoom is nice because you can zoom it in or you can zoom it out. But the 50, the prime lens is, there's no zoom. That's what a prime lens means, is that there's no zoom. But the trade-off is that you get these giant apertures. This one has a 1.2 aperture, which is a really big hole, which gives you this really shallow depth of field. And so like I was like, oh, I think I have one. I have a 35 somewhere. So I'm like going through my kind of junk drawers, and I find like this 35 f2. So this zoom lens is a 2.8, and this one that I have on here now is an f2. And that's not the only trade-off is aperture, but like the quality of the glass. And just because the zoom has like so many elements, it has so many glass elements in it to correct all the different zoom, like what do you call it, like to connect all the focal lengths, correct all the focal lengths. And with the prime lens, you don't need that. You just have the one focal length. God, but this autofocus on this lens just sucks. It's good when it works, but it's just like it wants to focus on this and it wants to focus. And so but it was kind of why I'm talking about it at length is because sometimes like something can go wrong and you can learn something from it. And like what I learned was like, oh, I should have been doing this I should have been using this lens a long time ago. This is like way better than the zoom lens. I thought the zoom lens was like, it's like this lens that I have on here now is like a $300 lens. That thing's like a $3,000 lens, not quite, but like close to it. And the $300 one outperforms it really almost. So yeah, thanks for noticing, Rich. I appreciate it. Nice specs, Breakfast King Alila. Dude, my specs are made in Holland, and they're made by a company called Hans Copenhagen, Denmark. Sorry, not Holland. They're from Denmark. Copenhagen, and I've had about 20 different. This goddamn fucking autofocus. I'm gonna turn it off again because it just like when it wants to play nice, it will. You little brat. Come on. Okay, you better work. Something like that. Am I in focus? I can't even tell. I hope I'm in focus. Okay, I think I'm getting behind. Yeah, anyway, I bought these. These are based on welding goggles, safety goggles. Remember the safety goggles that you had, the like clear ones, the sort of like gray colored safety ones that had like the green lenses and the little things on the side? These frames are based on those, which I think is really cool. I mean, like people have called, they're like, oh, look at these goofy glasses, but they're actually like, model on this really cool concept, and I really like them. And they don't have this shape. This shape is like more rare than you think it is. And I had the tortoise ones, the blue ones, the green ones, I had every different one. And they're sunglasses, and I changed them to eyeglasses. And they're like, sunglasses cost nothing to make. They're all made in the same factory in Italy. Like 90% of the glasses in the world are all made in the same factory. And it's only the little thing that they put on the side that changes, the cost of them. Essentially, they're all made essentially with the same acrylic and the same hardware, and you're only paying for the brand. And once these things kind of like move on from a season to, like I bought all the dead stock that I could of these glasses until finally there's no more left. And I seriously like been wearing these glasses for fucking close to 20 years. I gotta find something new. I'm a little bit terrified by it. Australia is progressing towards a 4-day work week. Apparently, that sounds nice. Really, I mean, like, I hope so, but really, will anybody actually do that? Will anybody actually like go? Like, will that really be a thing? If it is, I'll be blown away. Hold on, I can't. Yeah, so I need new glasses. Like, I need bifocals. And I need a pop-out window to these zooming to these platforms that make our streaming services. Please make pop-out chat so we can make it big. I think a video of the Tokyo Record Fair would be cool. Would love to see what they're selling. Yeah, probably somebody will make it. I probably won't. I probably won't. I may go there and buy something, and then like when I walk out of the place, I'll be like, "Yo, it's me. I'm at the record fair. There's a quick view of it. No face." I don't know. I'm just like, I don't want to get on anybody's bad. You know, I don't want to get on anybody's bad side. I want to get asked to come and videotape to make a video of it. I don't want to like beg to go do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, if a shop doesn't want you to film, you have to respect it. Yeah, I mean, you gotta stay in good graces with these guys. I want to do some videos when I come over, but I understand some places are just off limits. Yeah, and it's getting harder, and it's getting to be like, I don't know, my content feed is like just filled. I mean, like I was saying this on the Twitch stream, like Japan is getting to be. You've seen these videos, these clips, and they're like, oh, there's like some guy who's like come back from his like trip to Japan, and he's in the weekly meeting at his like office back in America, and he's like, "Oh, konnichiwa, everybody," and they're like, "Oh yeah, Greg, you just got back from Japan." He's like, "Oh my god, have you? Who's been to Japan? Oh, really? You have to go. It's like, have you tried the onsen? Have you tried Yokon? Have you tried blah blah blah?" And it's like, it's insufferable for people to hear. You know, these people who come back from Japan and all they can do is talk about Japan. Japan's like losing something by being so open. And that's not to say that I don't want it to be open, but it's just over tourism has been like a big word for 3 years now. And this is not to discourage anybody from coming here. You should absolutely come here. But you know, you see the fucking TikTok and Instagram is just, it's filled with people who are like, I'm in Japan and this is the thing that we're doing in Japan. This is my 10th trip to Japan. And I always hated those people who were like, "Oh, you should have seen this place when it was 10 years ago before it sucked, you know, before everybody came and ruined it." I'm just like, come on. Like, I just find and here I am kind of not exactly saying that, but you should come. And yeah, it's a little tricky, but if you're, I mean, you just have to be nice and have some social graces there, but there's so much nuance. There really, really is. I saw this funny video the other day, and it had like a guy who walked into a store, and he walked in, he was like, "Oh, hello." And then the other guy says like, "Oh, hello." And the other guy says, "Oh, nice to see you." And they're like, "Oh yeah, do you want to look at our menu?" And they're like and they're trying, like one person's like not trying to like, they're like, "Oh, how's it going? Nice to see you." Oh, and like they're, and to the point where they're like, both of them are like on the ground. It's comical. But yeah, it's a really interesting, it's an interesting experience to like be able to like, I know, I mean, I fail at them frequently, but I basically know them all. I know all the rules. I mean, I know pretty much. Sometimes I know the rules better than the Japanese do. But yeah, it's like, it's ultimate humility, essentially. It's ultimate like, I'm just a lowly, it's that. If you can just be like, "Oh, I'm just here to do the thing, and I'm just here to, is it okay?" It's like, I don't want to do anything. And they're like, you seem quite humble. Okay. That's the kind of attitude that I would say. But going in there and just guns blazing and being like, I'll just beg for forgiveness. I'm not gonna say that doesn't work sometimes, but I feel like, you have to know the rules to be able to bend them. Essentially, that's what it comes down to. Hey, James, nice to see you, buddy. What's wrong with the trains in Japan? Apart from congestion at times, they're always on time, rarely have issues, and get you close to where you need to go. What's wrong with the trains? Oh, what's wrong with the trains? Because I'm bitching about the trains. The trains are just, it's for the plebes. It's for the plebeians. It's not for us motorcycle guys who, we're on the surface level. We don't have to go on the trains. It's like, one time I said to my employer, I said, "What's your closest station?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, fuck you, like jokingly. But like that's a flex. I don't even know what my closest station is because I drive around in my, Jaguar or whatever. Um, but the trains are really nice. But I will tell you, all the social graces are off. They're not. They don't somehow, like, all of these rules are off on the train, and it's real. I was just talking about this today. Yeah, there's a lot to say about it, but like, if you see a little kid, playing a 14-year-old playing a video game on the train, sitting in the priority seat that is reserved for. I see your guys' comments, Nick and 40, and I'm going to get to you guys in a second. Breakfast. I'm sorry. I'm going to blast through these. Give me a second. Um, but you see a kid like playing a video game, and you see like an 80-year-old, 90-year-old woman like standing right in front of him, and you just want to say to the kid, like, dude, get up. Get up, dude. She's 90. But for you to do that, you're like disrupting the harmony of the train. you know you're totally disrupting the harmony of the train, and there truly is a harmony. And anybody who's like got their headphones too loud, or is chatting up, or even like doing their makeup, they're all getting shunned, either if not verbally, which rarely actually ever happens, definitely in the minds of everybody on the train who are watching like misbehavior. Somehow like puking and like sleeping, and at the end of the night is not shunned upon for some fucked up reason. That's like, oh, he had a good time, well done. Sort of. If you were a train station attendant, I'm sure you'd be saying a little bit different tune. Currently in Kyoto. We'll be to Tokyo again in a week. Okay, in a week or so, dude. Look me up when you come. I hope you don't leave without saying hello. As an American, I just thought daft means kind of ridiculous or just silly, right? No? Hey guys, by the way, Brian, 4D, James, Rich. Okay, yeah, nice. Kevin, Paul. Okay, you guys are all chatting to each other. Stunty. So 4D, you're the only Brit, I think, in the house. Or do we have daft right? Silly. Uncool. Daft. We should look it up. Oh my God, should I tell you my comic book? I don't know if I should reveal. I have an idea for a comic book. This would be the perfect time to reveal it, but I think I'll save it. I got my driver's license updated this week. Hey, well done. So stay on the road. I dig the frames. I need new glasses so badly. Yeah, these lenses are so scratched up, I can't even see through them. And it's like, this has been the longest time that I have not replaced the glasses because I can't find any more dead stock. That's the problem. It's literally all gone. I've always had like 4 pairs, like backups ready on the ready, but like no more backups. Here's a thought that helps you stand your ground. Your topics are beyond VC, photography, Tokyo, bikes, architecture, reading aloud, a broader audience, different catchment than purist VC. Thank you, 40. I appreciate that. And yeah, I agree. But yeah, it'll work itself out. I'm sure it'll work itself out. The MoFi I do own are the MoFi. I really do need glasses. The MoFi I do own are don't do that. Are bested by my original pressings. Are bested by. Oh, I like that expression. Are bested by. The MoFi I do own are bested by my original pressings. Cool. Okay. There's a comedian named Laura Ramosa that makes jokes about that stuff. Tokyo is beautiful. Oh yeah, I think I recently discovered her, and I think she's fucking hilarious. I think I made a post about it. I wonder if I'm pretty sure that is her name. And she is like spot on. She said, did you see the bus driver one? Oh my God, I think that's the one. She's funny. Japan in general is beautiful. Yeah, well, come. I mean, I think so. Yes, I want to see you guys. Come visit. Love Tokyo. Nick went there 3 separate work trips 10 years ago. Would love to see the rest of Japan. Yeah, man, come back, Rich. Anybody who wants to come to Japan, by all means, look me up if and when you come. I would love to like hang out. Really, truly. So yeah, getting on a subway train in Japan is very polite. Getting on a subway train in Japan is very polite, and everyone gets on in order. In New York or China, it's shove and fight. Yeah, you do line up, and there is like a protocol about getting on the train. But once you're on, it's like there's no ladies, there's no women and children first. That those rules are out the window. What else is kind of yeah, you're like right on top of the people, and it is those images that you see of people like pushing people on the trains. That is a thing. Like every day, that's a thing every single day. The trains are like they come every 5 minutes, and yet every one is just like sushi zume. They call it. So you're packed like sardines, except they use sushi. Um, so clean, even the streets. Yeah, I think this one of these other YouTubers. There's like so many of them now. Like they're walking around with socks, and they're seeing like, see, Japan's not that clean. And I see these fucking hilarious videos of like, you know, what are they? It's like Japanese don't cook their food. They have robots that cook their food for them, or Japan school kids, they all wear Rolex watches or like whatever these ridiculous things are. And I just like, no, 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 no. Occasionally they're like, oh, yeah, that's true. But like so many of these things are, you can eat off the ground in Japan. No, you can't. Okay. You definitely can't. And that's kind of that's what they're talking about is that, um, you know, I don't know. I don't want to talk shit about anywhere, but like I went to Marseille in on the Mediterranean like a few years ago, and I'd never been to that particular part of the world. And I know Marseille is kind of like a port town, but fuck, that town is like drenched in graffiti. Like I've never saw so much graffiti in all my life. And but juxtaposed on all this historical beauty and architecture everywhere you look. But it was just like every surface that wasn't like occupied was like covered in graffiti, and it felt like kind of a slightly more European problem than it did an American one. Although I don't know, maybe that's wrong on me. But Japan, there's no graffiti. There's very little graffiti in Japan, but now you start to see it everywhere, and it's not like gorgeous graffiti. It's like just, and it's not even like inventive occasionally, but it's just you know just vandalism essentially. Like I'm not even gonna call it art. I mean, I respect graffiti art, but this is not what it is. And that's what this is the kind of reason that these like ultra conservative guys who have this like anti-immigration policy. They're like, look at our country, look what's happening to our country. We're becoming a country of compromised values. Okay, I haven't been for like 10 years. Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly safe. That's the thing. It's like it's safe. That's what it should be bragging about, really. Although I did see this hilarious poster the other day. Hold on, you'll get a kick out of this. Japan. I did see a hilarious poster in the train station. Okay, check this out. I wonder if you can see this. Oh, dang it. I got to do the dang. Come on. Oh, come on. Okay. Is that going to come in? Come on. Oh, come on. Oh, no, it's not going to come through. Okay, well, it's funny. It's quite funny. It's stop violence, and it shows it shows this woman who's like beating the train staff. She's like a schoolgirl who's like hitting the train staff, and he's like, "Don't hit me!" And then there's another guy who's like got him by the necktie. He has like a uniformed train attendant like by the necktie, and he's like, "Don't you fucking!" Then there's another like drunk guy here who's like pushing the train staff onto the train tracks. And then, and then the guy in this bottom corner who's like taking his briefcase and he's throwing it at the the guy, and he's like, "Ah, please don't, no violence." What I was a little tiny bit like, you know, I tend to see there's a lot of like advertisements like this on the trains, and they're like, please behave on the trains. Don't rush onto the train. If your umbrella's drenched, like don't carry it on. Like be safe. Other people, they have these kind of like signs around, and they're usually kind of the characters who are the troublemakers in the advertisements are conspicuously not very Japanese. They often look like they're from somewhere else, which always drives me a little bit crazy. But in this one, it's definitely Japanese versus Japanese. You're gonna get thrown out of the country if you like, throw a briefcase at a a station attendant. But you see it at the end of the station, at the end of the evening on like a Saturday night. There'll be like really, really drunk people getting on the train, or they'll like pass out on the platform, and then like three station attendants will like come and like take him to a taxi, and they'll like pick him up scrape him off the train platform, and he'll suddenly like slightly come to, and they'll be like, "Let go of me, I know where I'm going." They're like, "No, dude, you're like too drunk. You got to take a taxi home. You can't get on the train." And there are no more trains. He's like, "I'm getting on the train. I know where I'm going." They're like, "Dude, there are no more trains. You got to get out of the station." And then he'll start swinging and punching. And then the cops will show up, and the cops will be like, "You got to calm down. He's swinging at the cops." And they're like, and in America, you just like that guy would have like a fucking gun to the back of his head in like a matter of seconds and handcuffed and be hauling off. And here they just tolerate it. It's crazy. It's like they really tolerate a lot. And they all kind of do this. They're like, "Calm down, dude. Calm down, calm down." I've never ever seen a cop like get physical with a person. I've never seen that. Not even close. None of this like pulling people out of cars, or when the cops pull you over and they give you stuff, they're like, "Oh, we're really sorry. I know you were. I know. I wish there was something I could do, but you were going to, And so it's like, it'll be okay. Better luck next time. Okay, be careful. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Okay, so yeah. Okay, I might have to skip over some. Yvonne, you're live, Brian. Yes, I am live. And I'm getting ready to go to bed here pretty soon, but I am just going live for a little bit. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Yvonne. Hello, Nick. Hello, James. Brian, do they have hot air balloon rides in Japan? Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, I've been with my family. It's quite nice. It's really fun. Yeah, they do. I don't think they have like the place to go is like Angkor Wat in Cambodia. That's where the big balloon festival is. But I'm sure they're all across Japan, and we've been once with the family, and um, they have these like little K cars, they call them, these little trucks, and there's got to be a whole industry of them. I've never seen them really. They probably can't fly around here because of like high volume air traffic, but I'm sure if you go in I don't know where they go. I'm not sure, but like we went out to Chiba, and they had like the people who were operating it. They had like, I don't know, like 10 or 12 like baskets in their garage, and it's like they were like very heavy into hot air balloon. I remember they did say that all the equipment that they got was like not made in Japan. I remember it was like from America or somewhere. I forget where it was from, maybe Switzerland, or I forget, but they do have hot air balloons. In England, getting on trains is very still. No one moves. It's just endless waiting. The train never comes, so shoving is never a problem. That's funny. Hello, soul bro. Hey, oh, okay. How are you? Face red hair. Okay, the emojis are not coming through. Maybe if I see them over here. God damn. Okay, I'm gonna have to skip over some. Let's see. Bidets in Japan, yes, those are excellent. Extremely safe. Yeah. Perfect glasses. Purple. Okay. Enjoying the summer with sun, music, and concerts. Great, dude. I am busy this summer. I'm not going anywhere this summer, I don't think. I saw a pass out guy on a station, and everyone put his stuff next to him. He would have been stripped naked in a subway here. I saw an advertisement. I saw these kids. They were like in UK somewhere, and they're these American kids, and they're like driving around. They're like, you guys will never believe this. They have in UK, you can go to you can pump your gas at the pump, and then you go in, you pay for it afterwards. And, they thought that was like so mind blowing. These kids are like, whatever, 18, 16, 18 years old or whatever, not knowing that this is how like so many of us grew up. But the other thing that I always think about that is like, I saw this guy, like, he had his bicycle. This is back home in America. And like, he had his like bicycle, like not chained up to a fence, and or not chained. He did this $1,000 bicycle. He rode up and parked it on the side of the road and like went into a bakery and like came out and rode it off, and he didn't lock it up. And I had this conversation with somebody who was like, look at that fucking idiot. He's like, didn't park his bike up. I could just take that bike. Anybody could just take it, What a foolish guy. And it just like made an impression on me when I came to Japan, and I just like, no bikes are locked up. I mean, they have these like little chintzy locks on them, but like there's lots of them that nobody actually locks them. And I I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say the Japanese are like particularly more moral than the West, but like just because something isn't like chained down, doesn't mean that like it's a free for all here. It doesn't like it's like anytime I've mentioned this before, but like every Japanese kid has this lesson that they learn when they find like 100 yen coin, a $1 coin on the sidewalk. They take it with their mom or dad to the police station, and they turn it in, and they say, oh, we found a 100 yen coin. And they say, oh, well, if you write your name down here, you can claim it in 180 days, or if the person comes here and who lost it, you are entitled to 40% of the 100 yen if you want to claim it, or you can forfeit it if you like. So then the kids say, oh, no, I don't want it. So put it towards something good, or the police, you guys take it if you can't find the owner of it. And like, yeah, but it's not mine. I shouldn't take it. I wouldn't want it. So it's not mine. That is, and I've debated like, where does that come from? And I think that and I have no clue if I could be right about this or not, but like, I have a feeling that comes from like a like a kingdom. I think like an emperor. I think that comes that's like the emperor has his, daimyo. The shogun has the daimyos. The daimyos have their little chibi daimyos, and then it goes down and down and down and down, and everybody's like paying attention to everybody else. And there's this like one thing that they're all serving. And it's like, if you fuck it up, then, in the old days, they used to like tattoo your head. They used to like tattoo your forehead. And, it's true. Okay. God, I wish I could read these comments. Ivan, do you fish? Okay, there's fishing here. It's interesting, like city fishing. Hey, Brian, sneaking in while I'm at lunchtime. Nice, dude. Gary, appreciate you being here. I thought I might come to you this year. Let's talk. Yeah, dude, come. At lunch. Hello. Glasses. Okay, I've been 5 days outside of town and fishing by the sea. Okay, nice. I bet the fish are good. It seems like they'd be okay. Good fishing in Norway. Okay, boats. Yvonne and Stunty want to come to Japan. Road trip this weekend. Okay, I think I got to the bottom of them. Did I? Okay, that's it. I saw one from Peter that I skipped over. Peter. Okay, no, I did. Okay, I'm all the way down. Okay, the last thing I'll kind of close out on, where it's like, I started talking about politics, and like, I don't really have a whole lot to say about politics. I genuinely don't. But the Stephen Colbert got canceled this week, right? So I was just, it just had me, and I heard like Johnny Carson got mentioned, who I basically grew up with, and David Letterman. Those were kind of the two guys that like, and then Conan came along. Like when I was 10 years old and when my parents were watching TV, it was Johnny Carson was the guy, right? And I mean, we certainly weren't old enough for him to be our guy, but he was our parents' guy. And I watched, and I don't remember it being particularly good or of my taste, or we didn't appreciate it. I didn't necessarily look forward to it, but it was on every night. And I heard in passing that all of these hyper political guys are in stark contrast to the apolitical guys who came, the generations before them. And that got me kind of thinking. They're like, huh, okay, was Carson like apolitical? Like, okay, he must have been. Was Leno apolitical? Yeah, he must have been as well. I never watched Leno. I don't, for whatever reason, I like Jay Leno, but I never really, he was just a little bit too silly for me. And Letterman wasn't political until the kind of the end. He got a little bit political there at the end. But Fallon came on and said, like, oh, I don't want to be political, and I want to. I remember his like opening speech on his first night. He said something like, I want to be the last thing that you think about before you go to sleep, and I just want to make a good vibe for you." Whatever it was, he gave this like really over sentimental, as you might imagine, like Fallon to do. And I don't remember about Kimmel. I like Kimmel. I don't. I mean, as like comedians, as people, as like entertainers, like I don't really have. I respect them all basically. I don't really dislike any of them. But this notion of like being the last thing that you do before you go to sleep, like that is a thing. And I heard in passing that these shows, they were designed to they weren't necessarily designed for you to watch until the end, which I kind of was like, oh, that's probably true. I don't really remember that many endings of those shows. I remember Sit Ubu Sit, Good Dog, I think, or Pants, or This Has Been. I did watch till the end of Letterman a lot, but I mean, I think probably when we got to a certain age, we stayed up quite late. But I don't remember how the Carson ended. I have no clue. I was in bed by then, as a kid, at school the next day. And Letterman, I don't really, yeah. Anyway, it was late night tonight. I streamed for 2 hours playing records, which was real nice. But then I was still compelled to like get on a stream with, I was going to put out the link. I don't think I'm going to do it right now because I'm going to go to sleep. But I had intended to like host a show, that I think if I think about what I want to do on this regular time slot that I kind of want to commit to, I look at there's like I don't know all the people who are doing shows, but the Gunkles guys, they do something where they have like they have homework. They have to go do. I don't know how many different formats they have, but I like their little concept. I like their concepts. They have one where they have to like go all home and listen to something and then come back and like report on it. And the Northern Revolution guys, they have like this game that they not game, but they put out a intention and then they like follow up on it, and they kind of, and then Rojas and co, they put forth a theme and they stick to it, and then I think like Concert Buddy, he's got like his thing is so super polished where he's got like 3 segments, and like he ends one and then starts the other. And Mikey Bananas does the same thing. It's like they have these moments where they stop streaming and they've dedicated this part of the thing for the audio only audience, and then they do another part, then they have the jump, and then that's real clever how they do it. And I just had this like sort of consultation, if you will, with my buddy, and then Rob and those guys, they just kind of ramble on, they don't really, I mean, they just talk about the news. It's like whatever's whatever's it in the news. And it seems like, I mean, whatever kind of comes up. And then, there's other ones. I mean, Paul Psycho Platters, he kind of does what I do. He just kind of like riffs on what I kind of riff on whatever, but do before I go live, I kind of think like, what do I want to attack? Like, what do I want to like pick apart? I do kind of think about that. Rachel, I didn't even mention Rachel. Rachel's got like, she kind of has a theme, but she kind of like goes where she wants to go. But Yeah, I just was thinking about I like coming on without any plan. That's kind of been my MO for up until for now. Just like come on and just like do whatever. But I'm thinking about like the late night. I'm thinking about like the format and like what is the format that's interesting to me at least. Maybe not to you, but like what would like stupid pet tricks and like top 10 and man on the street and like bits. Like I wonder if that would be like it would be better than just like rambling like I'm doing right now for just filling dead air. I can do that if necessary, but I think I'm going to try to come up with a little bit of a kind of a late night format. And then the last thing that I was thinking about is like the we said for us as the audience, as the public at large, that we watched those shows as like the last thing that we wanted to do before we went to sleep, right? And but they recorded those shows like in the middle of the afternoon, right? Like I think they record those at like 2 in the afternoon. And and then I think like I remember like Letterman, like he didn't record on third Friday, and then he recorded like a double show on Thursday or something like that. And at any rate, I was thinking about how for us it's the last thing that we want to listen to as we go to sleep. And there's no way to like replicate that because we're all on different time zones. But I was thinking about this is the last thing that I'm going to do before I go to sleep. And I was thinking about like like this is good for me. Like I want to put myself to sleep. I want to end the day. I want to wrap up the day. And even though it's like it doesn't necessarily work for you if you're in a totally different time zone, that was something that I thought that I came to mind. I wonder if those guys who hosted those shows, I wonder if how they thought about it. I wonder if they thought like, even if their day started at like 6 in the morning and then ended at 2 in the afternoon. I wonder if their 2 in the afternoon felt like our 2 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? That was something that I sort of thought about today. I was like, I wonder if it gave them a little if it if it was self-serving to a degree. You know what I mean? Because this is like I wanted to like put a little bow on today, wrap it up and be like, okay, we did it. There it goes. Today is done. Tomorrow is a new day. And that was why I came on today. That was a thought that came into my head. Okay. Um, well, I really do want to make a regular stream, and I don't know why. What does it mean? I'm just keep talking about it for nobody but myself, really. But yeah, I'll find a spot. Maybe like, yeah, I kind of want to still do like I want to pop on randomly with like this when I can and when inspiration hits. That's another thing. There is something on the unpredictableness of like Paul's psychoplatter. Like I like that. Like you don't know when he's gonna come. You don't know when it's gonna come on. I do like that, but I also appreciate like a Rob's or Chances or all these other guys who like they come on this fixed time every week and they've planned out a thing. Like I do actually like them both. And yeah, I want to do them both, but I'm only doing one of them right now. So yeah. Anyway, any last bits here? Can you hear my camera going beep 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 beep? It's like focusing all over the place, right? It looks great, but it also is like uh not that great. Let's see. 4D says here. Hold on, where'd that comment go? Where is that? I'm looking at two different pages. Let's see. We'll read this one. I remember my car being stolen momentarily. Weird. The car is no longer where you parked, and it's you, the driver, who feels displaced. Twilight Zone moment. Yeah, on a different planet. I had the bizarre, very bizarre experience of once being arrested for having stolen a car that I did not steal. There was once a car that I was in that we were pulled over by the police, and this car had been stolen months and months before, and it had been recovered and returned to the owner and never taken off of this stolen car record. And four boys, two of which were about 16 and two of whom were 14, were on the side of the road near the Grand Canyon, getting arrested for having stolen a car that we didn't steal. And it all ended up being a big fun story there at the end, but it was pretty terrifying in the moment. Yeah, I can imagine that. You're like, wait, where's my car? This is not my car. Where did my car go? Especially if you're coming out of the cinema. Hey, my car. Who am I? Yes, exactly. What if I was never born? There is no car. There is no me. I'm out of focus. Yeah. Uh, 40, I never actually gotten a car stolen, but my friends thought it would be funny to see me walking to work as they pulled up in my car. Ooh, and I passed out. I was past not laughing. I was past not laughing. Okay. Laugh laugh at it now though. Okay, yeah, that would not be so funny in the moment. Um my sister, who lived in Oakland for years, this is the difference between Japan and like America. Her car got broken into so many times, and she had like so many like laptops stolen, and like I just like, her car got vandalized so many times. I'm sure you've heard this story. She just started leaving her windows rolled down all the time and just like leaving nothing in the car. It's like empty stereo slot and like nothing in the car. Just leave the windows down so they don't break the windows anymore. I think after the windows got broken, like, half a dozen times, she's just like, I'm not going to do it anymore. Just leave the windows down. Okay. Well, once you have live stream guests, you can share the burden of topics because guests have an agenda loosely anyway. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's like structure doesn't scare me at all, but like um Rojas and Groove Seeker had it like the theme, or one of the themes that they had on. I forget, it might be I don't remember which show it was, but it was one of the themes was how do you listen to music? And I I got nothing but respect and props for but then it was a really interesting conversation and went a lot of different directions, and it was a great like intention for the thing. I wondered if like when you tie that off and then move on to the next thing, or if you just keep that as the intention for the entire show. That was a thought I had. I was like, huh, okay, because they talked about it for like a while, and then I forgot if they talked about the whole show or not. I don't know, maybe I didn't listen to the whole show, but a passing thought I had was like, I wonder if they're going to talk about this the entire. I wonder if that's the way that they always do it, because they had a ticker. I think another show they had like a ticker going on at the bottom, which like re-emphasized whatever the theme was, I think. But yeah, there's a lot of great ideas out there. Yeah, I'm a thinker. Yeah. Let's see. You could limit guest spots. Oh, to the last 5 minutes of a live stream. Yeah, 5 minutes is pretty short. But guests would be taking. Wait a minute, talking so fucking fast to get in on time. Everyone taking a mile a minute, like Scorsese. Yeah, I do think that I thought I had was like there are what do they call these people who like come on stream and they just like they squat, like stream squatters or something. They just like come and they don't like contribute to the thing. It's fine, like no judgment, no shade. But I was thinking about like, there's this, if you watch this thing that I hosted with my buddy Wayne, there's this thing where so you put out a link, you're on stream with somebody, you're there's two people of you talk, there's two of you talking, and you put somebody comes to the backstage, and this other, your guest, if you will, is like telling the story, and this other person sitting backstage, and they're like, I'm here, and you're like, I know you're there, but there's somebody talking in the middle of the story, and by just purely by letting you in, you're disrupting. So we need to have like I was thinking that like I need to have a protocol for that. And one of the protocols that I had was, um, well, first of all, I noticed that you can turn on this chime when people come in, which might sound really annoying, but if you leverage that to some sort of like fun thing or some, then it might be interesting. And I thought like maybe like one thing that you have to do when you come in is you have to do something. You have to like immediately upon entering, you have to talk about a record. Yeah, I don't know what it would be, but that was something that I thought about. And okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm thinking. I used to have this. I mentioned this, but like I used to have this Friday night drinks with the photography buddies, and we'd all like. I was so excited to go talk about photography, and it would always devolve into this: just who can talk the loudest about their whatever we're talking about. Usually like usually some divisive topic. And I propose that we meet, on Sunday mornings rather than Friday nights, so we could actually have like a semi like productive, for lack of better words, conversation. And take care, Nick. And but that unfortunately turned into also like a morning drinking episode. But the intention was to like bring a book, talk about the book, talk about an idea, bring a topic, bring a topic. Maybe I just thought of something right there. Maybe you can't come into the stream unless you have a topic. Do you have a topic? Don't come onto the stream unless you have a topic. Gotta have a topic. Anyway, it's fun going off here for a little bit, and it was fun to spend my last bit of the evening with you. I appreciate it. I was gonna, if I do this, I really did intend to have. Well, maybe I'll do it over the weekend, but I did intend to have a thing, and maybe you want to come up and hang out, maybe in the next time. So sorry I never got around to that. That was the intention. Have a good Friday, everybody. You still have a Thursday ahead of you. But have a good Thursday. I had a good Thursday, and I'm gonna have a good Friday. So let's all have a nice end of the week and a nice weekend, and encourage each other to make and watch and comment and like and share and all that good stuff on all our videos that we all work so hard to make. Yeah. Okay. All right. Until next time, guys. I'll see you at the